Christ says that the soul lives, and thus it lives. Matthew Henry. When Christ says it, that settles it. Period. Friends, get to know what he says. And let that settle it for you, I pray. The second half of verse 53, it says, he believed. He believed and he was saved. And watch this. Not only was he saved, the second half of the verse, and his whole household. You see, biblical faith becomes bold and humble at the same time. And friends, I tell you that while you can't save anybody, your faith, your relationship with Christ can be the very bridge across which Christ will go into the hearts of those you know and love. This is what it is to be a missionary. This is what it is. If you notice in John chapter 4, these two accounts, the two unlikely, the woman at the well, and now this royal official, they're two people of peace. Two unlikelies come and embrace the truth of God's word, embrace the Christology of Jesus. And the woman goes and leads an entire town's population to saving faith. This man, who started off just believing in his potential, accepting his promise, and now believing in his person and power, leads his entire household to faith. Don't underestimate what God can do with one true worshiper. And I ask you, friends, maybe is that you? Are you the one in the circle of influence that is your world? Are you going to carry the seed that God germinates and leads an entire population, maybe a town, maybe a family? Will you lay down your religion and your resumes? Or if you're here today or within the sound of my voice and you think that you're too deep in the mud, or that you're so far from Christ and Christianity that you don't even really understand it, you've never been raised in it, don't know anything about it, and really all I've ever done is mock it, and the only reason I'm here is because I want something. Maybe, just maybe, if you're willing to surrender, God will come and he'll deposit the miraculous seed of his grace into your heart. I want to show you a graphic that kind of takes all this into being. The full circle gospel. See, Christ invites all of us from both sides of sin. If you're lost in religion or you're lost in despair and the dirt, the full circle gospel, the invitation is to everybody. Come to the cross. Come to the cross. No matter where you're starting from, right? You can't get there on your own. And yet nothing can keep you from Christ if you'll come through the promise of gospel grace. Do you hear this? I pray that you do. And if, as I said to the men last night at Helping Up Mission, if God's amazing grace and this gospel truth needs to come to you as a hug, I pray to God you feel this hug. And if it comes to you and it's a kick in the pants, I pray that he levels you right here, right now. Friends, the gospel is a full circle gospel. It doesn't matter who you are or where you've come from. You can't be good enough and you'll never be too bad for amazing grace.